Hey, Olsen Scholars, I know you guys are ready for a great day. Well, can I get it? Can I get a hoop, hoop, hoop? Outstanding. Hey, guys, we're back. We're back. Now it's time to continue our discussion of Manifest Destiny all the way up to the Mexican War. We will start today with the Mexican War. By the end of this, you will be able to understand the causes and how it proceeded and how it eventually ended. Okay? Let's get to it. Okay. War with Mexico, 1846 to 1848. The U.S. Army had better weapons and equipment, but it was greatly outnumbered by the Mexican forces and was poorly prepared. The U.S. took New Mexico territory without a fight and claimed the territory. Okay. Zachary Taylor defeats Santa Anna at the Battle of Buena Vista, and U.S. troops under Winfield Scott, Old Fuss and Feathers, capture Mexico City. Okay. This led to the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. We have so many areas in Houston or around Houston. We have streets named after Guadalupe Hidalgo. And he was a big peace broker in this particular area, and he did a lot to broker peace between Mexico and the Texas settlers. Okay, that's why he's been pretty much revered in history, on buildings, on streets. They even have a county, I think, named after him. Now, the Bear Flag Revolt. This is one that was really, really, really intense. Small groups of American settlers seized the town of Sonoma. Americans declared California an independent nation and made a grizzly bear flag. That's when they came up with the Golden Bear flag for California. All right. John C. Fremont was leading a mapping expedition in the Sierra Nevadas. He joined the American settlers in their revolt against the Californios. Okay. Those were people who pledged their loyalty to Spain that were living in California. Um, one very important story of that time that comes out of there is the Legend of Zorro. Okay, he was fighting against the Mexican uh, governor that actually controlled California at the time, but they were actually in a fight themselves against Spain as well. So Zorro came around. He fought against the Mexican forces as well, by proxy, the Spanish forces. Okay, so that was a very important legend that came from that particular area, the Legend of Zorro. Shortly after, U.S. naval forces came ashore in California and raised the Stars and Stripes. They claimed California for the United States. They just basically took California. They tried to buy it for $30 million. Mexico said, no, we're not going to do that. And okay, 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 they took it. It's a lot of that happened in history. Okay. Then in 1848, the Mexican government seceded from Spain. In the Treaty of Hidalgo, Guadalupe Hidalgo, Mexico gave the U.S. territories of the California, Nevada, Utah, most of Arizona, and New Mexico, and parts of Colorado and Wyoming. The U.S. also claimed Texas north of the Rio Grande. The U.S. paid $15 million for the territory. Okay, today this is the American Southwest. All of this area right here, this was all taken from Mexico. This was all Mexico at one point in time. Okay, we took Texas. Our country took Texas. Okay, Mexican secession increased the size of the U.S. by 25%. We got about 25% of our territory from this particular area right here, including Texas. Okay. Now, after the war with Mexico, Americans wanted to guarantee that any southern railroad to California would be built completely on American soil. U.S. paid $10 million for the southern parts of Arizona and New Mexico. The existing boundary between the U.S. and Mexico was fixed. Settlers bound. This is the Donner Party. This is kind of sad a little bit. The Donner Party, 1846. Settlers bound to California took a southern route known as the California Trail. This path went through the Sierra Nevada mountain range. Settlers tried to cross the mountain range before the first snow. Guidebooks helped pioneers find their way. Lansing Lansford Hastings wrote The Immigrant's Guide to Oregon and California. Hastings' guide advertised a new shortcut that would save 300 to 400 miles. Hastings had never traveled the route himself. So basically, he wrote a guidebook in a route that he had never traveled. Okay? Following Hastings' guide to the shortcut, the Donner Party left the California Trail and got lost. They were trapped in the Sierra Nevada in the winter. They were struck without food and resorted to eating the dead to survive. 42 of 87 people died. Like I told you, the people that died, this is a very sad story. Um, they were so hungry that the people who were dead, some of the people had resorted to having to eat them. Okay, the Donner Party was an incredibly gut-wrenching story. Just to imagine traveling with somebody and you worried about the natives attacking you and getting across the territory safely. Then all of a sudden you get caught in a winter storm. You get so hungry that all of the people that die, they basically began to eat them. That was an awful part of our history. Okay, now let's move to some nicer things. Let's talk about California Gold Rush. Gold Rush, 1849. Note, 49. We have a famous football team here. It's called the San Francisco 49ers, right? All right, and this is the story behind it. Gold was found in Sutter's Mill in 1848. In 1849, about 80,000 gold seekers known as 49ers came to California hoping to strike it rich. Panning for gold was the simplest method. A miner fills a pan with dirt. He then puts the pan underwater and shakes it until any gold settles to the bottom. California gold rush. Okay, mining camps sprung up whenever enough people gathered to look for gold. At the mining camps, many people prospected, searched for gold. Others ran businesses that catered to the miners: laundry, food, innkeepers, legal services, supplies. Famine and economic hardships in China brought many Chinese to California. However, they faced discrimination and had a high tax on foreign miners. Okay. Impact of the gold rush. The arrival of 49ers created a population boom. Immigration increased diversity of population. California became a state in a year. Okay. Growth of new businesses and industry transformed California's economy. Gold mining was important, but farming and ranching grew. Discrimination of Californios and Native Americans. Yeah, they treated the Spanish speaking or the old Spanish, the people that were left over when it was a Spanish colony, they treated them with discrimination. And they also treated the natives with discrimination, which we've already seen throughout history. Okay? Now, that would pretty much summarize the second half of this particular chapter, and we will talk about this some more. So, you should have learned basically all of the major events that expanded the United States, that led up to the Mexican American War, and also the what happened that actually created California, which was basically a gold rush that created the 49ers. And that was the people that were moving to California in 1849 hoping to get rich. All right, we'll talk a little bit more about this a little bit later, and have a good one.